This is Next 5 Minutes. The title for today's session is Uneasy Relationship Velocity. Today, we're talking about pursuing love. Well, I'm not sure if we're pursuing love or a person, and it may be hard to separate the two, and that could make us feel uneasy. So for now, let's leave them as is, but we'll circle back to this later. Some of us might be pursuing a love that is playing hard to get. Now, I don't say that this is a bad person, but that kind of love is flawed. They might love us, but this is not a mature love. They think that by making us put effort into pursuing them, that they gain value. That's not right. Their value should be determined by who they are and what they do. Well, eventually, they will give up and let us catch them. That works out. But what about the love we pursue that doesn't stop running? We make time to talk, and they make excuses not to talk. We don't know what they're thinking or what they're feeling. We don't feel like there's reciprocity in the relationship. Maybe they don't want to get caught. Maybe not by us. After all the concessions and sacrifices we made, nothing seemed to work to help the relationship. So we thought about this while we pursued them. We may have paused the pursuit to look back to see where we came from. And of course, this doesn't feel good. But we felt like we were closer to them than the person that we used to be. So how do we know when it's time to stop the pursuit? That's the basis for the next 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the topography of our relationship. We would see where we started, and we would see where we are right now. Now think about the space in between these two places. What did we do along the way? What did we give up? What have we sacrificed? How have we changed? What do we have left, and what have we gained from it? In session 5, Relationship Failure, Empty Field of Dreams, I said situational awareness is often the precursor to self-awareness. After we realize that a situation is bad, then we realize that we're in it. Also in that session, I said everyone has their own truth, some based on facts and some based on feelings. Love pursuits, they are usually the result of feelings of the pursuer because what they feel is their truth, and that makes them commit to it. Okay, that brings us to the situation we have now. We find that we're changing ourselves in order to change a relationship. We knew for some time that this wasn't good, but now after exhausting all of our resources, we have to stop. Let's talk about value. Changing who we are for a relationship also changes the values that we have for that relationship. If the relationship cannot benefit from what we give to it, then it's not holding value. But it should. When two people come together in a relationship, their value appreciates by association. And they should appreciate each other too. Now, in the example that I shared today, the runner does not appreciate the value that the pursuer put in them, nor do they appreciate the value of the pursuer. When we know this is true and we do something about it, like go back to who we used to be, then we will gain our emotional value, despite losing material value. Now that the pursuit is over, we begin the long trip home. The road to recovery will be difficult because we're no longer moving at double time. We're faced with having to pass the same markers, milestones, and memories that we once made. And of course, the markers seem wrong and bad from this vantage, looking back. Surely they didn't look this way during the pursuit, right? Or we wouldn't have come this far. So we decide to take a close look at these markers, and we find out that they look the same on both sides, which means it's just as bad, which means we shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have come here. Now we feel like we have to start over. Disappointment sets in, and we'll say, oh, I have to go back to who I used to be. No, we're not going back to who we used to be. We're going back to who we're supposed to be. We deserve to have love without having to change who we are for it. We shouldn't have to become someone else in order to be with someone else. This reminds me of Robert De Niro in Goodfellas when he said, take it back to where you got it before. What he's saying is, if you change who you are, you change your association to me. By default, you also change your relationship with me. By contrast, the person that we pursued had no problem with us changing. I have a problem with that. Now, I don't want my viewers to go out and start placing a bunch of phone calls and telling people, yeah, Abrams from the YouTube video, he told me I should have left you a long time ago. No, stop, don't do that. Think about it, pray about it. I know we all like solutions that are bigger than our situations, but the desire to find that big solution can cause us to find any solution outside of our situation. Another love, non-productive activities, or swearing off love altogether. These reflex solutions only create more situations. Let's talk about distance versus displacement. If we moved away from who we were and we stop and we never go back, all we will be left with is the way we measured the pursuit, the displacement to our lives. It could be in weeks, months, years, dollar amounts, lost opportunities, lost friendships. But if we return to the starting point, our displacement becomes zero. That's a good thing. Now, this doesn't mean that we get back everything we lost, but it does mean that everything we think we lost is still in front of us. I'm Abrams, you're awesome. I'll see you in the next 5 minutes.